Line B, the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
All right, hello everybody. So we've got quite the stream to do today. I've got a lot of very important work to do, but it's also going to probably be very difficult. We will see. But before I get into what we're doing today, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for sale. It's a great way to support me. It's my first release as a full-time indie developer. So if you're interested in that, please check it out. The link for it is in the description below. And I also have my new Udemy course, Create a Complete Online Co-op Multiplayer Game in Godot 4. So this will teach you basically what it says it will. You'll learn at a high level how to make multiplayer games in Godot. So you're going to use the multiplayer spawner and multiplayer synchronizer nodes, remote procedure calls for the stuff that can't be synchronized through those nodes. And I also go into a little bit about how you can actually connect over the real internet using port forwarding. That's near the end of the course, so you can actually, play this little game with a friend. But yeah, so this is a great, I think, introduction and like at an intermediate level of how to use the multiplayer features of Godot, the online multiplayer features of Godot. So if you're interested in that, you can purchase that. It's linked below as well. And I also have my other courses linked below too. So check all those things out if you're interested in learning or supporting me. And with that, we can get right into the stream. So before I go into what exactly is going to constitute the refactoring on this stream, let's go ahead and say hello to everyone. Hello, Adam. What's too fast? Oh, you got here too fast? Hello, Anonymous. Welcome back. Plout, welcome. Hello, Schlurgy. Morning. Good morning. Lurking today, but damage context objects have made my life so much easier now that I have it fully implemented. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I think that kind of way of doing things definitely makes a lot of things more easier. More easier. Yeah, I just said that. What is damage context? So yeah, I think Schlurgy kind of answered you, but so in the case where you're making a game like a roguelike, where you've got all kinds of damage that can be done by different sources, enemies can do damage, players can do damage, you might have different damage types like fire, you might have a piece of metadata about the damage like whether it was a critical hit or not. Instead of trying to manage all that stuff in an isolated way, if you funnel it all into like a damage context object that is a class essentially that contains all the properties relevant to any damage that can be done. So you've got like the damage amount, the damage type, whether or not it was a crit, who the damage was dealt to, who the damage was dealt by. If you create that context object and then you pass it around your system, you have everything in one object that you can work with. So if you need to create a function that says, or you want to create a passive, for instance, that says every 5 crits deal a burst of fire damage to the enemy, right? Well, if you have a damage context object, all that information is there for you to use, right? You can track whether it's a crit, you can track which enemy it hit, and all that good stuff. So it's just a way of streamlining, gathering up all of the relevant data into a single object so that when you work with it in the rest of the code base, it's a lot easier to deal with. Hello, Nikesh, welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Ali. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, you would, so Anonymous, you would combine the damage context in combination with like an event system or a signaling system. So you would create the context object sort of at the moment of creating the damage, and then you could blast that context object throughout the system with a signal, for instance. Yeah. So the goal really is to like try to pipe all of the damage data through like a central core system so that you're not dealing with handling different damage types in a fragmented way all throughout the code base. You can kind of like funnel it through the same logic. And that just makes your code more reliable, makes it easier to work with, makes it easier to extend, all that kind of stuff. What do you say is what I'll do? Should I use Godot with C# or Unity? I'm going to migrate my game from SDL2 to an engine since I want dynamic lighting. I don't think I can make that decision for you. I'm sorry. I mean, if I'm going to be my Godot evangelist self, then I'm going to say you should absolutely use Godot. But I don't know enough about what you're trying to do or whether Unity or Godot is going to be better for your use case. So I would say I can't make that decision for you. But if you just want a straight answer from a Godot lover, then yes, use Godot. You should use Godot for everything. If you're making a website, you should make it a Godot game. I also have it in my game, but it knows who shot the bullet, then detects the collision to see if it is the shot, so it doesn't hit the shooter. Yeah, that makes sense. Hello, Real Crudo. Thanks for the explanation. I'm still a beginner from Unity. Yeah, for sure. Godot it is. All right. I'm glad we made that decision. So what I'm doing in this stream, so if you recall, I was having some issues on the last stream with some circular dependencies and also just shared references. I don't know, it's a lot to go into, but basically what I sort of discovered is that I had an old card stats. So I had like 3 different parts of my card. I had a base card, which was like the logical component of the card, a card stats object, which was initially designed to be the glue that contains the logical representation of the card, as well as like the visual representation and kind of like forms a bridge between those things. And then I have the visual representation. So I have basically a single card is sort of split between three different classes. And that was becoming a little bit unwieldy, but also was presenting some technical issues, which was causing some pretty nasty bugs in my system. So what I've decided to do is I actually had a chat with the AI, and after a little bit of back and forth, I had it split out this card system redesign plan for me. And basically the gist of this is that we need to avoid, since we're using ref counted, we need to avoid circular references so that the cards can actually be freed from memory when they're no longer referenced. I had circular reference issues throughout the code base, but then I just want like a unified sort of API for creating the visual and the logical component of the card together. And also I'm reducing the number of classes that sort of represent a card from 3 to 2. So I just have the data and the logic, and then also the visual component. So that involves removing the old object that I had, which was a card stats object, which was the glue that I mentioned. We're removing that, we're merging all that functionality, or most of that functionality, into the base card itself. And then I'm going to build some new systems for doing the glue elements that need to happen. And the new systems are going to be implemented with a mind toward avoiding circular reference or hanging on to ref counted references for longer than necessary. So that's going to be done by this card event hub. So this card event hub is going to be responsible for listening to game events and forwarding those to the cards, but it's going to hold weak references to the cards, so that way the cards are not. So a weak reference is it's an object that can hold a reference to a ref counted object without incrementing the ref counted reference count. So in other words, you can make a weak reference to a ref counted object, but that does not count as a reference for the purpose of the ref counted object. So that means that I can avoid circular dependency issues, or I can avoid issues where, like, previously I was taking the ref counted object and listening to the game events signals directly from that ref counted. The problem is that since game events is a permanent auto load node, it was always holding on to those ref counted references. So even when a card was freed or removed from the screen, it was actually still existing in memory and handling those game events. So that was it wasn't causing issues until I implemented a new system on Saturday, I think it was. And that kind of that's what revealed the whole issue. So we're gonna have to rework that. Also, my cat is now running around and screaming, so he's being very distracting. Go lay down. Go lay down. I'm working. Go lay down. Cats are famous for their loyalty and obedience. Hi. Hi. Go lay down. That's not laying down. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Hello. Anyway, I'm doing well. How are you doing, Real Cruda? I'm doing well. Thank you, Snupbill, for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciate that. As always, very generous. And we have the Yummers here. Awesome. We all love that Yummers. So welcome back, Snupbill. Always great to have you here. Philly Tao. Hello, finished your 2D Survivors course yesterday. It was very good. Now I'm jumping into my own code. Awesome. Glad to hear that. And welcome back to the stream. Always good to see you. Hello, Mia. Things look different since I've last joined the streams. Yeah, we've been making good progress. Doing well, having a bit of issue with my sleep right now. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. But, you know, sometimes it happens. We go through those phases, I think. I think everyone has those phases. Okay. Okay, all right. This is going to be really hard to work, buddy, if you're doing this. I know. I know. Can you let me work? Can you let me work? Okay. So yeah, I'm actually in the middle of doing this refactor. So I got rid of the card stats object, that glue object that I was talking about. And so now I'm just working through all the compiler errors. But even when I fix these compiler errors, the game is not going to be playable because I still need to implement the other systems that are necessary. So yeah, this stream is just going to be me basically reworking everything that needs to be reworked, which is very kind of boring. That's all right. Also leaving these to-do messages. Also leaving these to-do messages so I can clean up this stuff. Turn card. Oh goodness, my VS Code is bogging down for some reason. Oh, this is going to be painful if this is going to take a while to do my upgrades that I need. Okay, that one was not so bad. Okay, close all. Okay, let's just build again. These are the last of the build errors. Okay. All right. Build again. We're getting down. The list is almost done. Oops. Oh, that doesn't work. I don't know. To-do factory. I'm just going to put that there. Uh-huh. Maybe that's not necessary. I don't know. There's going to be a lot to test here. There's going to be a lot to test here. Okay, build again. Decided to participate in a game jam. Shovel Jam 2025. 3 days of no sleep, but it's over. Any tips you could give? Yeah, I actually have a game jams tips video on my channel, which I think is still relevant. So yeah, give that video a watch if you're interested. Give that video a watch if you're interested. But yeah, I think somebody just the other day said that the tips video was helpful. So that's good to know. All right, this is going to be a mess. Yeah. I'm gonna have to comment all of this out. Okay. Goodness gracious, factory. All right, let's build again. Such a cute kitty. Yeah, he's very cute. That's why he gets away with being annoying. He gets away with it because he's cute. Azir. It's just the weather, TBH. We had a record-breaking weather here recently. It's all still very hot at night. Oh. You don't have an AC? That is very painful. I actually ended up... I bought a portable air conditioner for my bedroom because it got way too hot at night. Probably the best money I've spent in a while. TBH. What in the heck? Configure for card. What? Grid indicator. Is this used? Oh, I see. Yeah. We're almost done with the compiler errors, but we're not done with the feature. Okay, one more compiler error to go through. This one looks like it'll be easy. Base card add as child root. Yeah, I need to fix that too. Okay, all right. So I think that's it for the compiler errors. Nope. I guess not. We got more compiler errors. Are you serious? Ugh. Okay, I don't think I'm ever using this. Okay, let's do this. Let's get rid of this. Is owned by player. We're just going to get rid of that. Do you think if I'm a beginner, I should make some simple games and then return to them after having some skills, or make some new stuff? I mean, you can if you want. I mean, there's a lot of ways to go through the process of learning as a beginner. It certainly can be useful to build a bunch of small games and then revisit the games that you built earlier to see if you can do them better. But at the same time, I think you can get a lot of that value from just building new games, because a lot of the games you build are going to have similar ways of doing things. You know, like, it may not seem like it, but there's a lot of things in this game that are similar structurally to my game Gunforged. So I don't think you're necessarily going to be going wrong if you just keep making new stuff. But that said, it can be an interesting thing to go back to your earlier projects and see how much better you can do them. So I would say that, yeah, you can't really go wrong with whatever approach you take. Just do whatever seems more interesting to you. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you're constantly doing stuff that you're interested in while at the same time learning. I don't think you should follow like a rigid strategy if the strategy is not fun. Ugh. I'm actually going to rename this. Yummers indeed. Uh-oh, not the refactor yet. This is going to be very painful, I think. Because once the compiler issues are fixed, I still have to like make sure the game still works. And I think that's going to be quite an ordeal. I still think that's going to be quite an ordeal, but this is one of the reasons why C# is great, is when you have to do these massive refactors, it's a lot easier than something like GD script, where, you know, even if you're using proper typing, it may not be obvious all the places in the code that need to change. Whereas with this, because I get all these compiler errors, it's a very nice way of just knowing, okay, here's all the places that are affected, you know? Okay, is this the last one? Okay, my compiler errors are fixed. Okay, so with all that fixed, let's go back here. So what I've done now is merged, I've done this. So I merged the base card properties and methods into base card. Okay. Card event hub, card node reactive binding, centralized factory. Okay, let's create the card event hub now. I think that's going to be very important. So I'm actually just going to copy this. Oops. Okay, let's see. I just wrote a function named enter callback fallback. It sounds really dumb, but I kind of love it. Yeah, I love when that happens. Any chance you could check out my Game Jam game submission and share your thoughts? A few minutes of gameplay is enough, really. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing that, Alex. I appreciate you asking, but yeah, I just don't have time. I've got too much on my plate currently. But yeah, I appreciate you asking. You're more than welcome to share the name of your game, though, so that people in this chat or watching the VOD can go and find your itch.io page and play it. You might get some feedback from that, but yeah, unfortunately I can't play your game myself. What happened to the 3D tab? Oh, you can turn it off in the editor settings. 86 Fahrenheit in Scotland with our humidity and other factors, it just felt so muddy and tiring. Yeah, so 86 and high humidity is like every single day in the summer here. So actually today is an outlier. Today it's only 74 degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah, it's definitely oppressive. It can be very unpleasant. How did you learn C# and Godot? I mean, it's not that different from GDScript. I already knew C# going into Godot C# as well, so... Oops, all compiler errors, yeah. Hello, Himanshu. What happened? Why so much errors? We're in the middle of a refactor. What is big ol'? It's just a way of saying big old mess. It's just kind of like a funny way of saying it. Refactor time, and you're for sure correct about the pains of refactoring GDScript. Done that a few times by now. Yeah. New chat UI for stream looks cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. And welcome back to the stream, Night Raven Games. I know I said lurking, but I notice you use a lot of namespaces. Is this a generally good practice to do in game dev? I don't utilize it. I'm not sure if I should be. Yeah, I mean, it's just another organizational tool that's available to you. You can keep your scripts isolated to namespaces so that everything's not in the global space. And that especially helps if you end up creating classes that have the same name. So, which you could argue maybe you shouldn't be, and like the way that Godot works is you can't actually have multiple scripts with the same class name. But in C# you can do that. And then the way to differentiate them is to slot them into a namespace. So, good morning, Arion. Welcome. Just Start a Cult. All right. So yeah, if anyone in the chat is interested, check out Just Start a Cult on, I'm assuming it's itch.io. And if you can, leave a review for Alex. It's for the Shovel Jam 2025. Have I got my high lurk? Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back. Oh, I forgot. I missed your lurk. I'm sorry. Good to see you. Welcome back. Okay, let's create a new event hub. Let's see. Scripts auto load. Okay. Okay. Do I have to do new weak ref card? What? Oh, maybe I just do how do I actually do this? Oh, I'm already on the documentation. Global scope weak ref. gd.weak. Huh? Uh-oh. How do I create a weak ref? Uh-oh. Oh, it's on object. Oh, it's an... Oh, okay. So I would do... Godot object.weakref. There we go. Card. Okay, perfect. On combat ended doesn't exist. So I must have failed to bring that over from my card reference. What? I guess I didn't bring those over. Oh, I still have... Oh. Okay, here we go. Put these at the bottom. I guess I can merge this into reset all state. Transient execution state, transient state. Okay, well, whatever. On combat victory, base card on combat victory. Oh yeah, I don't need that. Okay, so on combat ended. On combat started. Here. I'll just keep this the same. I don't think this is necessary. I might just do reset all state. Okay. So now this card event hub. Is there a reason? Oh, it's inaccessible. Oh. Okay. So what is going on here? The reason why I need this card event hub. So the way that... So this base card is a ref counted object, which again is reference counted. It's a Godot reference counted object, which means that basically anytime you reference a base card instance, the ref counter goes up by 1. And anytime that reference is lost or garbage collected or whatever, the reference count goes down by 1. And so the way that ref counted works is that when that value of your reference counts hits 0, that means that this object is no longer referenced anywhere in the system and can be garbage collected, right? The problem though is that if you have circular dependencies, or in my case, if I'm trying to connect to a global game events signal bus, if I just connect to that directly from the base card, that signal connection gets logged inside of the global events bus, which means that a reference to this base card is always held in memory. So the way around that is to create this card event hub, which stores weak references to the cards. What I'll do is I'll register a card. It will add that card weak reference. And then this card event hub is listening for the game events globals and then forwarding those with this cleanup and notify. And what this will do is this will ensure that the weak reference is still pointing to a valid card reference. And if it's not, then it will remove that element from the array. Otherwise, it will do that action. Now, I want to clean this up a little bit. And I actually think that this is wrong here. I don't think I can compare it to null because freed objects in Godot don't become null, they become invalid objects. So I need to do if not is instance valid card. Okay, so this card event hub now needs to be added as an auto load. I'm gonna try it. Thank you, Plout. Yeah, I appreciate that for Alex there. 1 second here. That is a dope name. What's a dope name? Ninja Link, always lurking. Welcome back. Hello, Moondog. Welcome back. The guy from Isidore's Edge. I don't know what that is. This game jam has over 1,000 submissions. Oh yeah, the GMTK jam, which is happening in just over a week, is probably going to have. Last time I think it had almost 7,000 entries, so it might even be higher this year, maybe 8,000 or 9,000. Is it possible to use VS Code with GDScript comfortably? Yes, it is possible. Yeah, there's some what's it called? Extensions that enable the GDScript language features. My cat is saying hello. Hello, Plout's cat. Hey, Carto, welcome back. Good to see you. Always good to have you in the chat. Welcome, welcome. What are we refactoring? Is component pattern not enough? No, it's not component related. I'm refactoring how my cards are done, basically. Okay, so globals, we need to load up the scenes auto load. Nope. Scripts auto load. Card event hub. We're gonna put this under there. I don't think the order of auto loads necessarily matters, but I just kind of like to group them sensibly. Okay, so add card event hub. All right, what's the next thing in the implementation plan here? Pure visual representation binds to a card via signals. So let's do the card factory then. I actually don't know if I like this approach here. Let me think about this. I mean, I guess this could be useful. We'll just put it in here. Oh, this is going to be... I guess I need the card scene in here. Where did I put that card scene? Doesn't matter. Let's see, card scene. That disappeared for some reason. That's all right. Copy UID. Private, static, read-only, packed scene, card scene. I don't think I'm going to want this, so I'm just going to comment that out for now. So we need the bind to card now in my card node. Card node reactive binding. So we've got set base card in here. Let's rename this, I guess. Bind to card. And we're going to get rid of, let's do public void unbind from card. Oops. So the unbind from card, I think, basically, I already kind of have this. So this is going to become this. If not is instance valid base card. I'm going to need to change all these. Okay, update debuff visuals. Card debuff. I think that's correct. I'll just put null in there, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Then all of these need to be unsubscribed here. So we've got this unbind from card now. So up here, instead of bind to card null, I'll do unbind from card. All right. We're going to do mouse areas.remove and queue free children in that unbind. I think that's basically correct. Okay. Bind to card. Okay, so now I think in my base card, what I'm gonna want is I'm probably gonna want some way of adding this to the tree. Public void add to tree node parent node. Trying to decide how I want to do this. If not is instance valid card node. Then what we're going to want to do is do card what is to node here? Oh, we're going to get rid of this. Yeah, we're going to get rid of that. Card factory dot create card node this. That is already done doing the binding, so that's great. And then we're going to do card node dot reparent. Parent node. What does reparent do? Changes the parent. This node needs to already have a parent. Okay. So if, well, I guess if it's not valid, then we can just say parent node dot add child. Otherwise, we can say else if card node dot is inside tree. Card node dot reparent parent node, else parent node add child card node. Okay. So I think that basically handles that much. Do I have all the pieces in place now? Let's see. I think so. All right. So there's still some places that I need to change, but I think this is working. And I also have an issue in my base card still with this being a circular dependency. Which I think, again, I can use a weak ref for that, but we're going to figure that out in a second. Okay. Let me just do some prints in here. gd.print unbinding from card, just to make sure that that's actually happening. Oh, is that? It's also not register. It needs to register with the global events or the event hub, I think. So let's see. Register card. Is that not happening anywhere? Oh no, that needs to happen in here, in this base card. Okay. Right. So in here, I might actually streamline this a little bit. So now I can just register the card in there. Okay. All right, so I think that's pretty much fine. Let me just build and make sure that everything still works correctly, or that compiles correctly anyway. All right, we're good. Use GDScript with VS Code all the time. Excellent. His name is Oreo, your cat. Very nice. It's so hot where I am right now. I'm melting, but I have managed to make a pretty good main menu theme that captures the pirate vibes I wanted. There you go. Always a good feeling when you finally get that thing looking good that you've been working on for a while. How much do you think this stream will last? I typically do 2 hours, although on Saturday I think I did close to 7 hours of streaming total, so that is a very scary code. Seeing other people's games code is always really neat. I always feel quite validated when I see others doing the same thing I did. Yeah, that is very validating for sure. Hello, Wooden Brick. I'm trying to get into Godot development, and all your videos have helped a lot. Glad to hear that. I've been watching some of your early live streams and it really helps. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you for joining. Appreciate you being here. Max Forever. Hello, how is it going? It's going well. How are you doing? Have you finished the cursed egg design? Yeah, the cursed egg is basically what revealed this problem that we're having here. So, but yeah, I think it's finished for the most part. All right, so add card factory. So now I got to go to all my to-do locations, which I think I just can search factory and I'll see all of them. So now here,
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical
oh,
functions. Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery, Houston, trim to 18.
so here base card dot add to tree. Wait, what was it before? Cards. Base card dot add to tree cards.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay, that should do that. On cell card. So here, card. Okay, so let's look at our factory now. Var base card is equal to card factory dot create card. Card definition resource is owned by players, not is enemy. Okay, that'll work. Here, those can go away now. Get rid of that to do. I think that's correct. I think that's also correct. So this can now be just changed to this. Egads. Okay. Oops. Almost there. Base card dot add to tree. Oh, I want to keep that there. Right, so we're going to do this. Get rid of that add to tree. Card container. Add to tree, this. Almost there. Set base card in the card inspector. Okay, so base card.duplicate is not an option. I almost wonder if I need that. Oh, I guess I kind of do. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I don't know. I'm going to have to solve that one in a second. I don't know how I'm going to do that one. Card.add as child card animation root. Let me just see if I missed anything. I did miss a bunch. How did I miss those? Card factory. I don't know. Try place card at position. Card placed. Yeah, I actually don't need this. Well, I don't know. Okay, let's build that and we'll see what's going on. Which project is this? This is my next commercial game. I don't have a name for it yet, but it's a collectible card game grid inventory management auto battler with a necromancy, medieval science, and alchemy theme, where the hook of the game is that you can alchemize or merge different cards together to create a new card that has the properties of all of the inputs. Good morning, Fox Shadow. Welcome back. So what happens when a cursed egg is alchemized? Everything that gets alchemized or enchanted on the cursed egg gets passed along to the imp that hatches. So are you saying the cursed egg was kind of a blessing? I am saying that, yeah. What is a weak reference? A weak reference is a reference to a ref counted object that does not increment its reference count. So it's basically a way of just like, yeah, not affecting the reference count so that the object that you're referencing can still be garbage collected if you're referencing it with a weak ref. Hello, Emerson. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to go and continue working. All right, good luck, Plout. Thanks for joining. Hello, Trivia. Good morning to you as well. Do you generally prefer to use signals or C# events when using C# and Godot? I prefer to use signals. I've mentioned this before. Mostly it's just because I don't want to mix two different observer patterns in the same project. I think it's better just to be consistent, because anytime you're using two different solutions for the same thing, you could introduce some variation into how those things behave. And, you know, generally speaking, I personally don't think you don't want to introduce variation where it doesn't need to exist, because then that just creates more things to be concerned about and to keep in mind, if that makes sense. What does set base card do? I think I got rid of that. Well, I'm late. Hope development is going well. It is going well. Do we know when the next code review will be? I'm going to try to do one for this weekend, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so let me think. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can just run the game and see how badly everything breaks. Oh, the other thing I want to do is card event hub. All right, I'm kind of nervous. Let's just do the alchemy screen to start. Let's see what happens. And we already have some errors here. Let's take a look at our errors. Object reference not set to an instance of object. Uh-oh. Maybe the weak ref isn't going to work. No, the weak ref reference is good. Oh, maybe instance is invalid? Oh, yeah, right. Oh, this should change to... Yeah, so if you don't have a scene, so I made this a pure script, that means that this notification doesn't work, because notification scene instantiated only happens if you have a scene. So what I'm going to do instead is change this to enter tree. And then we can do all this. I know that this works, so that can go away. Cool. Base card debuff container. Oh, is my debuff container not... Did I not create that? I didn't. All the baby deer are back. Hello, baby deer. They're so tiny. There's 2 baby deer in my backyard. Anyway, so this is working now. So let's put those in. I guess maybe my test, maybe my alchemy doesn't work. That's okay. So this debuff container, I need to change how this works. Private read only weak ref base card weak ref. Base card. Not is instance valid. Base card weak ref. Or wait. I have no clue this is going to work. And I might need to change how this one works too. Returns null if that object no longer exists. Oh, I see. So actually this needs to be a null chaining. Oh. I I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know how to work with weak refs necessarily, so we'll have to figure that out, but that's all right. I think that's fixed now. Okay, so debuff container that creates the weak ref. Okay, let's see if this works. Was lurking. Good morning. Good morning, Chris. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, Lucas. I want to see it. Yes. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Can I move this around? So far, so good. Okay. Let's go to the... Oh, I don't have any cards to alchemize. Let's go to combat, I guess. Is this working now? Okay, well, the combat appears to still be working, so that's good. I want to know what happens if I sell this. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh. Throw not implemented exception, right? So I need to do this still. If is instance valid card node. Unbinding from card. That got printed. Sweet. All right. All right. How does entry tree work if you're loading the script with node not attached to it? Well, the way that it works under the hood, when you attach a pure script as an auto load in your project settings, Godot will create a base node type for you and attach that script to that node type. So in my case, I just don't have a scene. I'm not configuring the auto load with a scene file. I'm configuring it with a script, which then gets attached to a base node object at runtime. But because it's not a scene, it's not a packed scene, it doesn't register that scene instantiated. $10 to catch it and show it on stream. That is not enough money to go after baby deer when mama is around, I don't think. I don't know, maybe the deer will just run away. Cat now, deers, what are you hiding? I'm in a little wildlife wilderness. Hello, Mycoon Dev. Welcome back. Hello, Rin. Good to see you. Welcome back to you as well. Do you ever connect signals in the editor? No, I don't. I only do it from code. I would say that your impulse to not trust connecting signals to the editor is a good one, because the main problem with connecting signals to the editor is that it creates additional signal connection data inside of the scene file. So you end up with two sources of truth for your signal connections. The signal connections exist in the code, and they also exist in the scene file. And so that means that if you delete the relevant code, that scene file data is not going to be updated, and you're going to end up with some weird issues. Like, I don't know exactly what the error is, but to me, it makes more sense to just make the code the source of truth. You do your signal connection and signal handling through the code. And that means when you modify the code in relation to that signal handling, it's updated in the only place where it's used or where it's set up. I'm going to add God mode. I'll populate player cards. What in the heck? Actually, I want this to be God mode. There we go. I've started forcing myself to connect through code, thanks to you, by the way. Yeah, I think it's a better way to do it, generally speaking. Signal connections are awful, I agree, good for beginners. Yeah. Told my game jam partners not to connect signals on the editor. They did it only once and it was a mess. Yeah, I just generally think that's a bad idea. I don't know why Godot has editor connection support beyond being beginner friendly, but how beginner friendly is it really if the beginners are going to run into an issue that's caused by stale data in their scene file, right? It's like, I would make the argument that it's better just to learn to do it from code up front and just completely avoid that issue from ever happening. So yeah, I would recommend, like, to the Godot devs in Godot 4, in Godot 5, just remove the editor signal connection. It's completely unnecessary and it just causes problems that wouldn't otherwise exist. All right. And it didn't work. Oh. Okay. I had a feeling it might be like that. Glad I followed my gut on that so far. Yeah. Will there be other characters we can choose from? Maybe. I haven't decided on that just yet. Okay, so we got 2 unbind from cards. Very nice. I'm still kind of curious. This didn't work last time. I don't think that's going to work, but I'm just going to try it again just in case. So we need to look at the card debuffs as well. Make sure that still works. Let's see if the card alchemy still works. Oh, my inspector doesn't work. Yeah, I gotta fix the inspector still, but this all appears to be working. Awesome. Ooh, a basilisk eye. That will be able to let us test. That will let me test if the card debuff container is working. We might as well enchant this card. Booster. So we're gonna have to pretty thoroughly test everything, but so far so good. So far so good. Okay. Oh, I didn't even see. Oops. The whole point of me doing that was to see if the basilisk eye works. It does not work. Okay. So the enemy minion exhausting is not working. So I think the card debuff container doesn't work for whatever reason. Add debuff. Card debuff added. Oh, here. Is this not being called anymore? Oh. That might be another problem. Mm-hmm. The base card is also being connected to in here. I see. Okay, so we're gonna have to fix the card UI in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this too. So we still got a number of problems here, but we're moving in the right direction. Everything seems to be basically functional. There's just a couple of places where it's not working and I don't know why. So this add debuff is not working for whatever reason. Emit signal card debuff added. I'm almost wondering if I can just forward those from the... I don't think I should be listening to anything on the base card here. So if I look at my card UI, I probably shouldn't be storing this base card anywhere. So how is that going to break things? What is this doing? On turn cooldown changed? I see. Update tier indicator. Yeah, I think I'm going to be better off not storing the base card in there because that was going to create another ref counted issue. So, all right. I don't know if I should try to fix this first before... Let's see why the basilisk eye isn't working to begin with. So we'll do that. Debuff added. Let's go to my run manager. Artifact manager dot add artifact registry dot from ID artifact ID dot basilisk eye. Okay. So I need to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, I'll catch up on the chat, and then also we'll continue on working with this. But yeah, in the meantime, check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support my work. Give me 3 minutes, I'll be right back, and we'll continue on. Okay, I'm back. All right, let's catch up on the chat here. I've been hardened by C++ to not trust anything that isn't easy to prove is correct. Yeah, I mean, this kind of like all ties into a lot of stuff that I tend to say often, like the reason I don't use comments, the reason why I don't connect signals to the editor. It's like you want your code to be as much of a source of truth as possible, you know? Because when you have your truth scattered over multiple different systems or components or data files or whatever, it becomes a lot easier to introduce errors. It becomes a lot easier to lose track of like what's happening in the system. And so, yeah, you want your code to be as clean, as readable, as understandable, and as predictable as possible. And yeah, it should just avoid things that take you off of that path, generally speaking. Started with signals via editor because that's what I knew or was shown. Then when I found out signals could be connected dynamically via code, my head exploded, never went back. Yeah, exactly. I'm writing a script to automate installing software on Linux instead of studying math. Well, there you go. Yeah, this classic engineer. Oh, I have to sit down and do this work, but what if I also tinkered with this thing instead? I do that sometimes too. Making a render in C++ without being careful with things like that just gives the absolute worst of bugs. Right, yeah. Have I coded in Rust before? I have not. No. Welcome back, Hebo, by the way. It's been really nice. I like it. Good, good. Just asking anyone in general. Oh, yeah, anyone else coded in Rust? The Jolt physics engine isn't super workable in Rust at the moment, which has resulted in my still needing to use C++. When you have a bit of time, could you show how you are doing the dynamic text formatting and coloring of all the cards' description? Yeah, I think it's relatively simple. It's just so rich text labels can have color codes in the BB code. So you can color a segment of text using the color tag in the BB code format for a rich text label. And then what I do is I basically just have a regex that runs, which will find the keywords essentially and then replace those keywords with the BB code color tag. It's just that simple. I can show you the code if you're interested, but I have a feeling that me just mentioning that general strategy should give you a good idea of how it's working. Good afternoon, Carnisa? I don't know how to say the squiggle C, so I apologize, but welcome, welcome. All right, so let's see. Yeah, we got to figure out why the basilisk eye isn't working, hey? All right, let's see. Let's see. So it is doing the debuff added, so that much is working. Where am I even printing that? Oh, so it is doing it here. Okay. is it not working at the card level then? Okay. So I think it's up to this. I think this is probably not working in here. So let's debug this. So this has disabling debuff is ultimately returning false, I think because my code in here is not working, which means the code in my card event hub is also not going to work. So I got to figure out how to get this proper reference. So base card weak ref, get ref, as Godot object, ref counted. If I do as base card, that also returns a ref counted. So maybe that is working. That's returning object. Active debuffs. It has exhausted. So if I do has disabling debuff, true. Okay, so that is working. So why isn't it working in here then? Interesting. False. That's not good. Okay, well, I have no idea why that's not working, but let's continue on. We'll auto-resolve, and I won. Very cool. Very nice. Very cool. Update debuff visuals. Oh, where is this? Maybe if I look at the call stack. On card placed. Okay. Emit signal card debuff added. So base card has disabling debuff. Is this just not going to work? So that's true there. Oh, but is it being called again? Oh. I'm clearing the state on combat start as well, but I think what's happening is this basilisk eye is connecting to on combat started as well. So what's happening probably is this basilisk eye is being called first, and then this on combat started in the card is being reset. So I don't think it's necessary to do the reset all state here. So if I just clear that, because the card is going to have its state reset when combat ends. So I don't think I need that. So I can just get rid of that. Now if I go into this, it should work. So if I do this, boom, there we go. So it is disabling. Okay, cool. That's working. It's working. All right, so the next thing I need to do, we can get rid of this debuff added. I need to remove the card UI's references to base card because that's incrementing the reference count and causing that card to continue to exist in memory, which is not ideal. Okay. I think we're very close to getting this to work. We're very close. I just need to figure out what the heck is going on with this. So in this card UI here, I need to remove references to the base card. So let's just get rid of the base card and then fix everywhere where this is happening. Hmm. Now I'm actually wondering if I needed to do this in the first place. Actually, I might just need to... I think the only thing I need to do in here, actually... I actually think the only thing I need to do in here is else if what is equal to notification... Actually, wait a minute. I may not even need to... Maybe I don't even need to... I don't know. I don't think I even need to do this kind of management here, where I'm unbinding from the card and everything. But I might as well just be safe here. Yeah, since these are nodes, these are going to be freed from memory, which should free up the reference, I think. So I may not even need to do any of this stuff here. I don't know. It's really hard to test this to make sure that the ref counteds are being freed from memory properly, but let's take a gander. I wish I could verify if that was happening. The other thing that's kind of bothering me is that this is never... This cleaning up invalid card reference, that's never... This is never printed either. So I wonder if those weak references are even being... I wonder if those card references are even being cleaned up at all. I don't know. It's so hard to test this. All right, let's try this. Launch. Or no, I should have attached rather. Attach to process. Godot. Just pause for my game learning to watch you. Hello, Igor. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. Hello, Jackie Daytona. Welcome back to the stream. Great to have you again. Mr. DOS CP, welcome. The stream and to the stream and coding Godot in general. What's it mean to use signals via editor versus dynamically coding them? I haven't messed with signals much at all. So there's a way to connect to the signals that Godot emits, the Godot nodes emit, through the editor. So it's just like a UI-based way of connecting them. But you can connect to signals through pure code as well. And so what we were recommending is basically just always connect through pure code instead of through the UI. But you'll see a lot of Godot tutorials, they'll tell you to go through the UI. Yeah, so all of these weak refs to all these cards exist, but they're not being freed at all. Can I do gc.collect? Nope. I'm never seeing this message printed. Maybe if I play the game for a while. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is gonna work. Shoot. The problem is in C#, these ref counted objects, they don't get freed from memory immediately. So that means this card event hub still has a bunch of references to valid cards. How am I supposed to... Well, I guess one way I can test it is I can go to my run manager. I'm just going to create a bunch of cards here. I think I did this last time, but I have a different system in place. Two card instance, base card. That's going to register it. All right, let's see what happens. So I'm generating 10,000 cards, and what I want to see is I want to see them cleaned up. But that may not happen. Oh, there we go. So it did clean up invalid card references there. I think what I might do... So that card event hub is going to be necessary still, because there are going to be some situations where I want the base card ref counted object to be freed automatically, like I'm not going to be managing it. But there's a lot of cases where I call my own little queue free method on this directly. And so I think in here what I'll do is I'll just do unregister card maybe in the card event hub. So I've got register card. If I do public static void unregister card, I can do this manually. What I'm really concerned about is continuing to send game events to cards that have been freed. Although maybe that's not a huge issue. Is it an issue? Yeah, it's going to be an issue. The whole... Oh, man. Maybe I should just leave this be. So here's another thing that I want to try. So, okay. I've got a lot of stuff to try. Okay, let me just think about this for a second. Before I get too ahead of myself, let's do this. I want to try this. And I'm actually going to do this here. I'm going to do logger.info or debug, I guess. Okay. In my card object here, I wonder if I even need this unbind from card stuff here. Change this to connect to Godot signals using .connect. Well, it didn't do it exactly correctly. Base card.signalName.alternate art shown. I don't think I need to do all this management work that I'm doing here. I don't think I need to do this. And then this unbind from card, I don't think I need any of this either. I really don't think I need this. Should be easy to test though. Card factory, create card node, card. We'll just do .q free after that. All right, let's run it. What I should see in my log is a bunch of those free messages when I start the combat here. Good morning, Brando. Really enjoying how it's all coming together. Enjoying some coffee while going through user stories for work. Very nice. Welcome back. Great to see you. Hello, Yeet. Can you clear the unused variables manually? Well, I was doing that. I don't think I need to do that, though. Do you cover the state machine style in the C# course? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Just started it, but still didn't finish it. Gotcha. You conjured AI inline. Yeah, Copilot can do inline edits like that. So it's very nice. Can be nice. Sometimes it can be a pain though. I was thinking the same thing. I know Copilot and GitHub can be used like that, but I didn't know how to set it up for Godot. That's nuts. Yeah, well, it's in VS Code, so it doesn't understand Godot code that well either. Apparently instantiating 10,000 nodes was too much for this. Unless, yeah, we'll see. We'll just let it do its thing for a little bit. Gotta wait, I guess. Gotta wait, I guess. Yep. How's everyone doing? How's everybody doing? Still fighting with the garbage collector? Yeah, I'm just trying to understand how to do it. Okay, here we go. So we instantiated and freed 10,000 nodes. So we've got all these things here. Probably the Godot printing is being a problem, but anyway, now if I go to combat here and I just go ahead and start. Okay, so that did not free anything. So now what I can do is I can attach and then in here in this card event hub, I just want to put a breakpoint there. Count, yeah, so this has 10,024 elements in it, so it's not, those cleanups are not happening anymore. So it looks like I do need to, okay, so that's one part of the experiment. So it looks like I do need to manually manage that variable. Interesting. So I do have to use unbind from card to set that variable to null. And I'm doing that in the UI here as well. So anywhere where I'm storing a reference to this ref counted base card, I need to manually set it to null. Does that make sense? I guess that, I don't know. I would have figured that if Godot is going to, or if the garbage collection, the C# garbage collection is going to free this card UI instance, then it's also going to release any references to any ref counted, but maybe that's not the case. So now if I put back the manual setting the card node, or put back the manual setting that base card to null, and now if I run the game again, we should see all those print statements go. But now we have to wait for 10,000 nodes to be created and freed. Just made a background blur shader. Nice, yeah. Shaders, I'm starting to love shaders now that I'm using them more heavily in this game. Currently melting in the summer heat. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Yeet. It was way easier than I thought it'd be. It looks super neat. Works better with pixel art than I thought it would do. Oh, like a slight blur on pixel art, yeah. Thank goodness for AC. Yeah, I was just talking about that earlier in the stream. I've got AC, but I've also got a portable AC unit for my bedroom. So I've got 2 air conditioners. I'm so American that I have 2 air conditioners. Anyway, so we have to wait for this to go, unfortunately. I think it's going to take a couple minutes. Is there anything else interesting that I can say while we're waiting? Quick, somebody think of something interesting for me to say. How do you stack multiple shaders? I like to use an outline shader on mouse over, but then a blink flash shader on hits. Yeah, so you have a couple of options. One, you merge them all into a single shader. So you have your outline shader and your hit flash shader work together as a single shader. That might be the easiest option in your case if all you need to do is just have blink, flash, and outline. So you can do that. You can use canvas groups, which canvas group will basically create a new texture from anything that's a descendant of it. And then you can apply a shader to that canvas group. I think you can... Yeah, I mean, I think those are really your 2 options. What do you think I should do if I want to learn multiplayer in Godot? Well, interestingly, I have a course just for that thing. I have created a complete online co-op multiplayer game in Godot 4 course, which is linked in the description below. So if anyone watching this is interested, you could check that out. Thank you for the ad segue, Yeet. Godot has some good documentation on implementing networking too. It does, yeah, it's decent for sure. Okay, we're in. We are in. So now let me look at this card event hub. Let me look at this log here. So we've got all this unbind UI from card. So that's like 10,000 lines. Now if I go in here and I start combat, that also didn't work. Maybe I do need to manually disconnect these. Let's put this back. Maybe I do need to do this. I don't know why that's the case, but I'm going to get rid of this print. That's probably slowing things down quite a bit. Although I'm doing that signal connection here. I honestly don't know what's going on here. I honestly don't know what's happening, but let's see now. All that work to get back where you started. Programming is fun. Yeah, I just wish I wish I knew more about how this ref counted is working. I'm just trying to figure out like what combination of magic things I need to do to make it do what I want. Just throw every file to AI Multiverse and let it figure it out. Yeah. It's like that problem of like having a million or a trillion monkeys all typing away randomly. How long does it take to get Shakespeare? But you could do it with AI instead. If you throw a trillion prompts into AI, how long until it makes your game for you? All right, come on, let's go. Yep, we're waiting. We're waiting. I might be able to turn down the references that are created, but I don't know. I just figured out something though. Yeah, actually, never mind. I don't think I figured out anything. Okay. Where's my logger? I think I can close this. Is this an old log file? Wait a minute. Am I looking at an old log file? Oh, maybe I was looking at an old log file. Maybe if I just delete these. Hold on, we're gonna go back and forth a bunch of times. Let's see, delete those. Okay, cancel. So this is the up-to-date log file. Maybe it just won't update while I'm looking at it. Maybe I have to not look at it for a second. Okay, a big hitch just happened there, which seems to indicate that something happened. Yeah, here we go. Cleaning up invalid card reference. So that's working. So wait a minute. What the heck? So if I go back here and I undo and put all that back to this format, I'm going to clear my game log so I know for sure that this is working. Okay. Sorry, I know this is not the most entertaining thing in the world, but we're going to get there. What was that error? Oh, whoops. I guess I lost the error forever. Guess I lost the error forever. That was such a programmer moment, yeah. Using Git for my next game, Game Jam for sure was out of town, and the USB with the project files was corrupted. Oof. Yep. Yep. I think one of the things you should learn... one of the things you should learn once you start getting your bearings with game development as a beginner is Git. That's probably the second most important thing you should learn after programming. Artifact idea, ref counted. Oh, gosh. When entering combat, if you and your opponent have 0 health at the same time, the opponent instantly dies and you revive. It's an interesting idea, but that actually can never happen in this game because there's a very specific turn order. So it's actually not possible for the game to end with both the player and the enemy dead. Is it possible to program in C++? I don't know the extent of like C++ scripting or whatever with Godot. I think it's possible, but the Godot engine is made in C++, so any language has an add-on. There you go. Thank you, Arion. Just commit everything to the main branch and call it a day. There you go. Bruno, welcome back. Or not welcome back. No, wait. What am I doing? Bruno, welcome to the stream. Celtar, welcome to the stream. I don't think I saw you here before. Sorry, my mind is being scrambled by the ref counters. Come on, bro. How hard is this, bro? Come on, bro. Dude, bro. All right. Anyway. Okay, so that weak reference clearing won't actually happen until I get in here. So let's do this. Okay, something definitely happened. There's a little lag there. Yeah, now it's not clearing those references. Interesting. So I've narrowed it down. So I can't use this connection style for some reason. Why can't I do that? I have to use the C#. Why can't I do that? Okay, so I don't know for whatever reason, but it's quite clear from my testing that if I connect to the ref counted signals using this .connect, typically what... Oh, you know what? Yeah, no. So this is a card object. This is a node. It's connecting to the base card, which is a ref counted and has signals in here. The typical way that this works is that if you connect with this method of connecting to signals, when the node gets queue freed, those signal connections are automatically removed. So as soon as this card gets freed, it's supposed to remove the signal connections. But there's something happening internally for whatever reason that it still thinks that this card node is referencing that ref counted. So its reference counter is never going to 0, again, for some reason, at least according to my testing here. So, but if I do this, if I use the event style signal connection, okay. If I use the event style signal connection here, then it works. I wonder if that's a bug. That seems to me like that's a bug. The signal connection should be disconnected when the node gets queue freed, which means that there should be nothing else referencing that base card ref counted object, which means that it should be cleared or freed, garbage collected. But that doesn't happen unless I use the event style signal connection. Now, it's even weirder to me is that I have the card UI here. The problem is the card UI, the set base card is being called. In this bind to card. But this is using the traditional signal connection with .connect. And when this is in place, the references get freed. So I have no idea what's happening. I'm completely lost. I am completely lost as to what's going on here. Someday I want to be so good at programming that I will have to fight with the garbage collector. I really shouldn't have to do this. Like, this is not... I'm not doing anything particularly complex here. Is it... Let's see. I don't know. I don't think my theory is correct, because if my theory was correct, this would also not allow it to be garbage collected, but the problem is that... Oh. You know what they say, what in the heck, man? Uh-oh, I don't know how to get back to the state that I was in. I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, I really don't think that this is necessary, but let me just stage this because I keep going back and forth on this. There's something going on here that's very sus. Okay, I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna get rid of this card UI set base card so we never send a reference out to that base card to the card UI. So the way the card is structured here is I've got this card UI. So basically I pass the base card reference, the ref counted, into this card here, and that forwards that along to the card UI. I'm just gonna break that so that's never being stored in the card UI. Then I'm just going to run this and see if that much works. So let's see. Oh, these are the kinds of things that make me not want to be a programmer anymore. It's a bit of the pain, though. I wouldn't personally recommend it, yeah. When errors turn you into a frat boy. Bro, dude, man, bro, come on, bro. Yeah. Happens to me often, to be honest, despite being a woman, yeah. Bro, come on. You can see the generated C# code. There maybe is something going wrong there. Yeah, the generated code is really hard to read, though, but I guess you're right. I could go in there. Maybe I could ask the AI. So true, bro. I ran into this issue once when reloading a scene, but my issue was opposite. I had to use the non-event style connection. That's weird, yeah. Very weird. There's definitely a lot of weird quirks with Godot still. Hello, Rentar. Welcome back. K Zori, good to see you again. Man, this code base is going to drive me to eating McDonald's, man. I'm trying... Bro, come on, dude. I'm trying to watch my figure. I'm trying not to eat so much McDonald's, and this G-dang engine just throwing stress at me. It's the only way to cope, I guess. Yeah. That's the only way I can cope with these issues is with a double quarter pounder with cheese, man. God, bro, dude. McDonald's? God, you'll hold on. I feel like the XKCD comic where it's just like, why do system administrators or whatever have so much time? It's like they're jousting on their office chairs, and it's just like, because the code is compiling. Yep, it's compiling. It's going to take an hour. Can't do anything. I'm unsubbing if you keep going. Really? What Godot theme is this? This is the Godot minimalist theme. I think if you just search Godot minimalist on Google, you'll find it. Frat boy Firebelly, yeah. As dumb as it sounds, sometimes reopening the engine solves a lot of debugging errors. I don't think that's going to work in this case, but sometimes that is definitely true. All right, let's see what happens. This is painful. This is very painful. Card debuff. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Try again. How much it take to compile? No, it doesn't take that long to compile. It's just I'm running some tests here that take a while to set up. I want McDonald's now, though I'd have to go on a vacation in another country first because McDonald's over here absolutely sucks. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. 1 hour. This 1 hour is crazy. Yeah, it's not my code. I was just making a reference to an XKCD comic. Hello, Mycoon Dev. Oh wait, no. Why am I saying hello? Thank you for the McDonald's donation, the 149 euro. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Multi-thread it for more speed. Easy. I don't think you can. Because the reason why this is so slow is because it's creating a node and adding it, or it's not even adding it to the tree, it's just creating the node, and I don't think that can be multi-threaded. I could be wrong. Artifact idea. McDonald's reduces earned blood currency, but creates a new minion card whose power is the remainder of the blood currency. Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun one. Oopsie daisy. By the way, the game looks smooth and clean as F. The art is amazing, man. Thank you, Kzori. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm very happy with how it's going, for sure. Very happy with how it's going. Except for, you know, these reference counting issues. But game dev is not all just, like, easy from start to finish. There are going to be weeks and days exactly like this where it's just a brick wall that you have to work past. Hello, I don't know how to say your name out, I'm sorry, but the art is great. Who's making the assets? I am, yeah, I'm doing all the art myself. You can actually go back in the stream VODs if you're interested. I think the most recent episodes, we actually did a bunch of art. So yeah, I would definitely encourage you to check those out if you're interested in seeing how I make the art. But it's just, yeah, it's just basic pixel art. with a nice color palette. I think it's turning out good. I wonder... I don't know. Let me see how long this is. Attached to process. Imagine you cussing every other second when not live when you try to do it on stream. Yeah. That's not far from the truth. There are some things that are just so unbelievably frustrating that it's just... What else can you do except for cuss at your computer? Get the sledgehammer ready, you know, all those kinds of things. This array is still 10,000 elements. Oh no. I'm wondering now if these just... Maybe it can just hold 10,000 elements before it feels the need to garbage collect. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I have no idea what's going on. I mean, the only change that I've made since the last time it was successful is I removed this set base card there. I don't know, let's just put that back, I guess. There's no rhyme or reason to how this is working. I am absolutely 100% and thoroughly confused. Come here, cat. And now the attention demon is back. Hello. It's like this cat was designed to be just annoying enough that I don't go berserk on him. Right, bud? I'm just kidding. I love you. I love you, buddy. Yes. I love you, yes. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Do you want to help me debug? It feels really inspired for pixel art. I especially love the fade to black coloration. Yeah, thank you. So, you know, I've gotten a little bit of grief about rigidly adhering. So basically, I have this rule for myself for this game, which is that every pixel that ends up on the screen has to be one of the colors that is in my 8-color color palette that I chose. And that has created a lot of problems because there's a lot of visual effects that would have been easier if I could have done like a transparent overlay, for instance, or like lighting effects would be easier if I could just create an orange light and then have it color the pixels on a gradient based on the light intensity, right? And I didn't do any of those things because that would have violated that little rule, because it would have created like intermediary colors because of the mixing, right? And so, but by adopting that constraint, I think what I've done is when I've tried to figure out like how do I dim the screen or how do I do a light effect, when I have that constraint, it creates a much more striking visual style than I would have otherwise. So it seems like kind of an arbitrary constraint, but like constraints like that can actually be very, very useful in terms of your creativity, but also just in terms of how your game is visually presented, you know? So I think that constraint feels arbitrary, but it actually ended up being a very good strength of the game, I think, personally. All right, let's see what happens. I wonder if garbage collection is just not running. gd.print manual gc run C# garbage collection here. I don't know why it does gc collect twice, but we won't question that. I think you should reduce the node creation with coding by creating more resources or creating build in nodes and modify them with code. Well, I mean, I'm creating 10,000 nodes for the purpose of testing. In the actual gameplay, it's not creating issues. Do C# got pointers? I think they do, but I don't think you can... I don't know how to interact with them. I saw the thing in your code. Oh, that might have been equal sign greater than, which is not the same thing. It's like a lambda function declaration or a function without a body necessarily. Or what would you call it? It's a way of declaring functions without having like the curly braces. I don't know what that's called. I've resorted to locking my cats away while I work from home because they seem to have attachment issues. Yeah, my cat too. My cat too. Is the cat reference counted? Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're all reference counted. Yes, cute chicken. Also, his ears, very pretty eyes. Yeah, he does. I think he does. Everyone comments on his eyes. He's got good eyes, right, bud? He's so cute. Yeah, I love him. Refactoring, my favorite, unironically and honestly. It depends on the kind of refactoring. If I'm doing a refactor where I don't need to like mess with reference counts, then yeah, it can be really fun. One of my favorite things to do is to just delete huge chunks of code. How do you interpolate between those colors? Is it just a gradient mapping? That's a good question. I actually don't know exactly how it works because I had the AI write a shader for me and I basically just kept berating it until it did it correctly. But basically the way that it works is it can determine... So I think what it does is it categorizes the colors in cool and warm buckets. And then what it will do is it will step down to the next darkest color in the palette in that bucket until it goes to black. And then, yeah, once it's black, I can just free it because then it's like, you know, the background color. It's beautiful. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. And you're welcome. How much do you think you will charge for this game? It's hard to say. I would like to end up somewhere a little bit higher than where Gunforged ended up being costing. So I'm thinking tentatively in the range of like 10 to 15 US dollars. C# can use pointer using unsafe. Yeah, that sounds right to me. I'm just not familiar with how to use it. Lambda function, yeah. Arrow functions, and yeah, right. You can interpolate with lerp and math functions. Yeah, so the interpolation in the shader, it's based on a uniform value called progress that's on a 0 to 1 mapping. So based on where that progress value is how the shader determines what color a color should be stepped down to. So yeah, the shader is actually kind of complex. And like I said, I don't know exactly how it's working because I had the AI do it for me. So it did the manual garbage collection. Okay, so we got something here. So we actually so it must be the case that the garbage collection just isn't running. Can I stage one file? How do I stage a single file in Git? Oh, that doesn't help. Oh, wait, no, how do I stash? I meant to say stash. Does the file need to be staged prior to stashing? Oh, okay. Whatever, git stash. Oops, what am I doing? Okay. Git stash push dash m trad connection. Nope, that did not work. All right, I don't even know how to do this. It's fine. Ah, son of a bee. Are you serious? Gosh, that's so annoying. I don't like the stashing in Git at all. Base card dot connect alternate art shown. Sorry, I know this is not the most entertaining thing in the world, but I just need to figure out what the heck is going on here. Let's try it again. Hello, Norkis. Welcome to the stream. I don't speak Russian, unfortunately. Hello, Harsh. Welcome back. Great to see you. $10 makes sense in this climate. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it depends on how much content there is, but... Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you. Good, Harsh. Git add file path. Yeah, it didn't work. I mean, I already had a file... I don't know. Whatever, it's fine. Shaders are complex, but it makes process easier. Like if you want... making a game that has day-night cycle, you don't need to redraw asset. Yeah, shaders are very powerful, and especially like I think shaders are very powerful, but they're very inaccessible in the sense that you do need quite a higher degree of technical knowledge to make them compared to the rest of game development. Like I think that somebody that's like a beginner to programming or is more art oriented can definitely make a game in a game engine, but when you get into something like shaders, that's just like purely technical. And so it's really hard, even for someone like me who has a lot of engineering experience, to do something like shaders, because it's a totally different way of like writing code, and it's very math heavy. It's like writing a bunch of mathematical expressions to create a visual output, which is just really hard to do. And so that's where the AI can be really helpful. Like you can just describe what you want the AI, like what you want the visual output to do, and the AI will generally do a pretty good job of getting that shader written for you after a couple of passes. Me when PowerShell takes 10 years to load, yeah. Don't quite understand. I'm refactoring, I'm doing ref counted stuff. It's a whole mess. But you can watch the VOD if you're interested in seeing the whole process. Stuffing changes away for winter to gnaw on, yeah. Don't shader graphs help? Yeah, shader graphs do help, yeah, for sure. Do you have something in your game that is akin to a game manager, something that manages the game states or game screens? Yeah, I have a, it's not quite a global state machine, but there's like a giant state machine. Oh, it just did the garbage collection. Let's see if that worked. It did not work. Or maybe it printed the manual garbage collection. Oh wait, no. I need to actually go in and do something here. There we go. So, okay, so it looks like I was wrong. So this signal connection method does indeed work. It's just that the garbage collection was not being run. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so now what happens if I say, like if I just get rid of that, setting it to null there? I wonder if, I don't even know if I need this unbind from card here. All right, let's do yet another test. Might change the log rotations in here. File logging, max log files. Let's do a debug override. Add, we'll just do 1. Hello, buddy. Hello, cat. Hello. Do you need attention? Do you need attention? Shaders focus on math problems more than algorithm problems. I think it's a little bit of both, but yeah. Could you share your visual utils text formatting function? I have one that works, but I feel like it's very sloppy, so looking for something that I compare it to. So you talk about like the text highlighting with the colors, Schlurgy. I feel like shaders and lighting can make a mad-looking game seem beautiful. Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's that game Thomas Was Alone, which is just like a bunch of differently colored geometrical shapes like rectangles, but I think that the developer used a lot of post-processing effects to make it look more professional. Yeah, so the description utils. So highlight keywords. This is the highlight keywords function. It's just a regex that looks for the keywords, basically. And the keywords have curly braces, two pairs of curly braces enclosing the keyword. And then it, yeah, basically just selects all those matches and replaces them with a create color BB code down here. And this create color BB code is just a straight up interpolated string there with the BB code tag. So it takes a color object, calls color.html or to HTML in there. And that's basically it. So it's a little bit messy for sure, but again, this is one of the places where I had AI write the regular expression for me. So, I mean, this is exactly like keyword highlighting is exactly the kind of rote stuff that I could spend a couple hours getting right and like fumble through the regex, or I could just say, hey, AI, here's my requirements, do it for me, you know? Hi. Do you see the cat? What are you doing? What a ridiculous cat. Goodness gracious. Okay, did it do the manual garbage collection yet? It did. It looks like that worked, right? Okay, I think that's probably good then. Let me just do one more test for my sanity. I'm going to delete all these logs here. Don't tell me that you start refactoring before exporting the project as zip backup. I have Git, so no zip files here. Kitty, yes. I'm still working on the 3D trails because it was done, and then I noticed that there was artifacting that broke the effect. It do be like that sometimes. Do you have a way of fixing that, do you think, or? Mine does something similarly, but probably messy because I have different functionality for highlighting damage numbers versus keywords all in the same func. Oh yeah. Yeah, it would probably require multiple passes of the regular expression. If I had to guess anyway. You're being the stream entertainment, Azir, while the You're being the stream entertainment while the thing is running. Oh. Woo. You're being the stream entertainment. He's purring right now. He loves being manhandled, right? Do you love being manhandled? He needs to pay off all those treats. I wish that was the case. Unfortunately, he's very particular when it comes to his diet because he has internal issues, so he actually doesn't get treats because it doesn't work with his diet, does it, buddy? Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't work with your diet. Yep. You could work off all the food, though. You could work off all the food. I've identified the problem and I'm refactoring to support the mitigation. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, fine, I'll let my cats free. Juggling the cat, yeah. Some kitty love would be fine during this workday. Yeah, sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes I'm working, but sometimes the distraction is very welcome. Let me guess, that didn't work. Didn't seem like it worked, but let's see. Oh, it actually hasn't done the garbage collection yet, I don't think. Okay, it just went through a giant hitch. Yeah, okay, cool. So I think my initial assessment was wrong. So when the garbage collection does run, it does end up freeing those when I use this format of connecting to the, this format of connecting to the signals. So that's great. That means I can get rid of this unbind from card here, I think, because I don't need to set that base card reference to null manually. So when this gets freed, it will free up that reference, which makes sense because it was working in the case of the card UI as well. Okay. Well, that was a lot of investigation for ultimately very little, but I think it's probably okay. We can get rid of this. I don't think I need this either. I lied. Let me just do one more test. This should still work, but we'll get rid of that. One more test, again, just for my own sanity here. My door's actually been open this whole time and they just don't love me. Well, cats are funny like that. It's like they want attention when you don't want to give it, and then when you want attention, they're just like, who are you? If you had infinite budget and time, what kind of game would you make? Yeah, I mentioned this before. I think as far as like my dream game goes, I would want to make some kind of ultimate necromancer power fantasy game. What kind of formula that would take, I'm not sure. I mean, I would really love the idea of having I think a really cool game could be this, where you start off as like a necromancer, maybe you get raised from the dead by a lich or something, and you start off in a cave, and you exit onto the overworld map, kind of like you've ever played Mount and Blade? You know, there's like, you start off as like a lone character, and then you basically can just make it your goal to take over the map and like have your own fiefdoms and stuff. I think that kind of thing, but as a necromancer, where you're kind of like trying to take over the land and like get a bunch of people under your undead army, would be really cool. And so it becomes almost like a grand strategy necromancer game where you're trying to take over the map, you're trying to defend your strongholds, but then you could actually go into like the moment-to-moment gameplay of the battles and whatnot, and like take control or command of your army. I think something like that could be a really fun game. I mean, it's basically Mount and Blade, I guess, but maybe with some different elements. Like I said, I haven't given it that much thought, but yeah, I have seen that there are mods kind of like that for Bannerlord, but I don't think it would be exactly the same. I think it would be, I don't know. These are just vague ideas I have. I obviously wouldn't want to make like a carbon copy of Mount and Blade, but how this generation's dev leads to GitHub, like, I'm a software engineer for 4 years and never understood the GitHub Git thing. Even tasks, I write them out on a text file and backups by zipping projects. Yeah, I don't think zipping is a good idea, because one of the benefits of having a complete history is that you can go back 3 months ago to how an individual file looked, and you can see exactly how that file has changed over 3 months, and pull out individual lines of code and restore that stuff. Also, if you're working on a team, having multiple feature branches, and then so that each developer is kind of making their own changes. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think there's no reason to create manual zip backups when you can have an entire history of your project backed up constantly. Okay, all right, it's working. Good. All right. Well, so that was a lot of testing to ultimately get the answer of like, it was working to begin with. So it's just that the garbage collection, unless I manually trigger it, it's just not going to run predictably, which is fine. Anyway. Remove unnecessary binding code. Oh, whoops, I have to do this. Run manager. Oh no, I removed it. Okay. So now the next big thing that I need to do is I need to have a way of deep duplicating a base card. So public void deep duplicate. This is going to be annoying, holy moly. Maybe not though. It might not be that bad. Okay, so tell you what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write this deep duplicate function because the last thing I need to get to work is my card inspector, which totally doesn't work right now because this is all commented out. So let me take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we're going to implement that. I guess we're going long on the streams recently, but I do want to get this work done before I stop for lunch and all that stuff. So we'll write a deep duplicate function for this base card. I don't even know, is that necessary? Let me think. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be necessary. So we'll do that, and then yeah, we'll see how that works. So I'll be right back in just 3 minutes, and then we will continue on.
ATO.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight in the orbit of Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0. Discovery, go and throttle up.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
All right, I'm back. I would have an infinite, if I would have an infinite budget, I would create a Metroidvania hack and slash like Elden Ring, Dark Souls. Yeah, more games like that are definitely welcome. Yeah, the history, yes. Okay, Zori, if you look here, this is my Git graph. Every commit that I've made since the beginning of the project is here with exactly all the changes that were made during that commit. So I can go back to this one. This was 4 days ago, and it says health option scene setup, and I have all the changes that I made to the code during that commit. And I can just keep scrolling down. I can go all the way back in the history. I'm not going to be able to get to the very first commit, but like this one, this was 4 months ago. Reword, reset, closest cooldown. This was just a change. But I can see exactly that change that was made to this sole file here 4 months ago. And most of the time that's not going to be useful, but it is very useful on occasion to be able to go back in the history and say, wait, you know, maybe you introduced a bug in the code base and you forgot to port some functionality over. So you can go back and say, oh, I forgot to port that, copy, paste it, bring it over into the current branch or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely useful. Actually, maybe, oh, look, there is my first commit, init. So this was one. This was for March 7th is when I did the first commit. And the first thing I ever worked on was card, drag, and snap. That was my first commit after the initial commit. Anyway. Artifact idea red. What is a behelit? Increases damage dealt by number of enemies defeated. That is an interesting one, too. I've encountered a problem I'm finding surprisingly difficult to solve when I press buttons. Sometimes I want animations, and those animations need to prevent any other UI input. Interesting. Yeah, how would you do that? How would you do that? I don't know, that's an interesting problem. I need to figure out a way to prevent not just mouse clicks, but also controller button presses from activating UI. I mean, the one way I can think of doing that, which is maybe a little bit hacky, would be to, during the animation, create a node that's somewhere, like in terms of the input processing order, put a node somewhere in the tree that will accept inputs first, and then just automatically accept every input that comes in through that input method. And that would essentially block those inputs from being propagated to the rest of the tree. So if I really just wanted like a global way of disabling input, I'd probably just do that. Create like a little transient node that while it's in the tree, just absorbs every single input and doesn't allow it to propagate. And then I can free that node when the animation is over, and that will just allow the inputs to propagate to the rest of the tree afterward. That said, it might not be an ideal situation. You might want to filter out certain events, like you may want the user to be able to still pause during an animation or whatever, but That might be the general approach that I'd investigate in that situation. I think you can also disable input with the set process input, I think. Set process input here. So this set process input function can be set to false, or it can accept false to prevent inputs from being handled at an individual node level. Or I think that might even be inherited. Is that inherited? I don't think the process input is inherited, so yeah, you'd have to set process input to false individually on every node that handles input, maybe, which you could make easier with like a group. So you could just set process input to false on all the nodes in a certain group. That could become a little bit unwieldy though. Anyway, those are some things you can investigate. Behelit is a red amulet thing from Berserk. You can look it up. Okay, gotcha. Very nice reference. Okay. Get paused equals true and set the anim to ignore timescale. That's interesting. All right, let's do this deep duplicate now. So we're going to say oh. I don't think that's going to work. Because this is an abstract class. Oh no. Okay, maybe it's time to ask the AI.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
How can I make a deep duplicate method like highlighted when this is an abstract class? Do I really need to implement this in every concrete class? Or is there an easier way to do it? Oh, I know how to do it. Never mind. Card factory.create card definition resource. No, card definition resource is owned by player. That'll work. Never mind. I don't need you, AI. Goodbye. Okay. So now I just need to duplicate all the things that need to be duplicated. Is alchemized. Card node doesn't need to be duplicated. Tier does. Dimensions, that doesn't need to be duplicated. Turn cooldown remaining, those don't need to be duplicated either. Is showing alternate art. Okay. And then I can just duplicate all these, I think. Card.composed abilities is equal to composed abilities.select ability.duplicate. What? Oh, for card. Card? A read-only field cannot be assigned. Son of a bee. That's fine. I guess none of these can be read-only anymore. I don't think I want to do projected composed abilities. I don't need to duplicate that. So I guess that can remain read-only. Ability parents. I don't think... Where's this set? Yeah, that doesn't need to be duplicated either. So it's really just the enchants and composed abilities that need to be duplicated. I don't think I have a concept of duplicating enchantments either. Oh, maybe I do. Sweet. I think that's it. Well, that ended up being a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. Okay. So now we can go to our card inspector here. Base card.deep duplicate. Oh, this needs to return a base card. Card container.add duplicate stats. That works. Setup description. Base card, grid indicator configure for card. Okay, let's see if that works. Everyone should invest time in learning Git version control, useful no matter what you develop beyond just games. Yeah, exactly. What's the size of my game? In terms of like the file size or content? Welcome back, Potrill, by the way. I found a solution. Turns out Viewport has a viewport level input toggle. It's a bit of a nuclear option, but it works. There you go. Yeah. Nice. Very nice. What's the in composabilities line? That's a new C# syntactic sugar thing to basically create a new collection out of existing elements. It's like a spread operator kind of from JavaScript, if you've ever used that. But basically what it does is it just takes all of the elements of the source collection. So this is the source collection here, or this rather, the result of this select is the source collection, and it creates a new, in this case, list with each of those elements in it. JavaScript, otherwise known as Java. Did I say Java? Or maybe I don't get it. This pre-delete is never being fired, so we'll get rid of that. So now I should be able to investigate my cards here, inspect them. That works, that works, that works. Can we enchant something? Let's go here first. Enchant card. Increases critical chance. Okay. Yep, that's working. So my card inspection is working now. That's good. Go to the booster. So the whole reason why this entire thing got kicked off is because I need to figure out the cursed egg. So let's do that. Add deep duplicate for base card. Okay. So now I can add in my run manager. What I can do is I can do this. I'm going to get rid of this basilisk. I don't need that anymore. Populate player cards. It's a hellspawn egg, actually. All right. So the way the hellspawn egg needs to work. So previously, the way that this was working is because that base card was not duplicated. Every time I click inspect into this hellspawn egg, this listener, this hatches after 4 combat victories, was being basically referenced multiple times, and so it would trigger multiple times whenever you finish a combat. So I'm just going to click into that a bunch, and then I'll go here, and I'll put the God mode mutton in there. Okay. 3 victories remaining. Look at that. So we're good. Now the other thing I need to do is make sure that when I enchant this, the enchantments get applied to the imp that spawns. So this enchantment should be inherited by the imp. We'll go to this one now. Okay, let's go to the booster. 2 victories remaining. Let's see if the shop has anything interesting. Yes, let's alchemize this now. Ah, son of a bee. I can't alchemize it. Okay, well, we'll just keep testing. Oh, look at the zombie. Ah, I'm not going to be able to get enough money for this. No, I want to test the zombie. Why isn't this working now? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's a problem. Looks like that is not being properly freed from the cell board, so I need to figure out why that's happening. I may need to go back in history and see what I forgot to port over, so that's why Git is going to be useful here. But let's just make sure that this is working. Oh, it should also upgrade the tier, so the tier should be passed along to the imp as well. All right, let's see what happens. And it did not work. Unless, was I looking at it wrong? Maybe I was looking at it wrong. Let's do another one. Okay, it's not hatching. Son of a bee. Okay, so the egg hasn't hatched. Ah. Do I have any errors? Oh, I have errors. Null reference exception. Oh, yep, I know why. That was an ID10T error. No need to worry. Okay, I think that's fine. Now we can test the alchemy too. So that was just a porting error, I think. So we've got this egg now. Let's just go ahead and blast through this a little bit. Open this up a bunch of times. Okay. Upgrade card. Okay. Max health increase. Just take this one. Should have 2 victories remaining on it. It looks like I'll be able to alchemize this before it hatches, so that's good. Okay, let's alchemize it. We'll alchemize it with the skeleton. Okay, well, we lost the upgrade, but that's okay. Sweet. And then let's go to the shop. Maybe we'll do some extra stuff in here if we can. Yeah, let's enchant it. Increase critical chance by 10%. Cool. Go back away from the shop. Let's go fight this last combat encounter and see if it hatches. Here we go, moment of truth. It didn't work. Unless, wait. Yeah, I don't think it worked. Son of a bee. Why is this null reference exception? What's null? Is the board null? Get cardboard owner. Oh. I think I know why this is happening. Let me just verify. I think this error is going to pop up anytime I inspect something. So if I just inspect this skeleton warrior and then close and I go to combat here and I run this. No, I didn't get an error there. Shoot. I think what's happening here is this post-combat victory. So wait a minute, let me think. So I think what's happening, I'm pretty sure this is what's happening, is that this card event hub, again, it's still going to store references to base cards that have not yet been garbage collected. So when it tries to call this on combat victory on a base card that actually doesn't belong to a board, as would be the case in here, then I get a null reference error because this board is null. So there's a couple of ways to fix that. I think the best way to fix it probably would be to... So there's this weird state that I have where I could have a card that's not referenced by anything but has not been garbage collected yet, but all of this on combat ended, on combat started, on combat victory is still going to be... It's still going to be called. On those, like, cards that are in limbo. And I think that's what's happening here that's causing an error. I mean, the easy way to verify that would be to, in here, just say if board equals null, return. I don't want to do this everywhere in the code, but this is going to at least just help. To see if that's indeed the issue. Anyway. To list, but automatically for the type of list, yeah. It's a meme, grandpa. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow on the chat, too. I am a grandpa, I guess. Cursed egg turned out to be more cursed than anticipated. Yeah, it cursed my entire code base. Oh, goodness. That's not a good omen. So what I've done is I've just opened the inspection. So that's creating new base card things under the hood, which is not great. But if I do this now, oops, I actually have to win the combat. Are you serious? Okay, let's try it again. Sorry, you know me, I gotta get my McDonald's on the way here. Okay, so I opened this up a couple times. That's creating new ref counted base cards for this inspector here. So those are all being added to the card events hub. They're all being registered in here. So now if I go here and I just win this, see, now it transformed because that error is no longer happening. That imp looks pretty good. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. So yeah, I think, how am I going to do this? So there's a couple ways I can approach this. The whole reason I need to be able to duplicate that base card to begin with, well, this is going to be a problem regardless. So I basically need a way of, in the card event hub, how do I want to do this? How do I handle limbo cards? I wonder if there's a way to check how many reference counts there are. I doubt it, but let's see. Oh yeah, get reference count. Oh, look at that. I don't know, let's try this. gd.print. Card.getReferenceCount. Now here's the thing though. Does this card count as a reference count? I think it's going to, right? Oh no, because it's referencing the weak reference, I think. I don't know, man. Let's see. Let me print the references in here, and if I see 0 in the output, then that's actually going to be good. If I see 0 in the output, then it's just a matter of checking that the reference count is greater than 0 before I invoke anything on it. So let's do this, let's do that, let's do this again. So I should see like 3 0 prints, I think, if I win this. I hope I see 3 0 prints. I see no prints. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. This is a nightmare. I'm kind of tempted to refactor again and just get rid of ref counted entirely. Well, hello Marcos, welcome back. Hello Harsh. Oh wait, I already said hello to you. 2x2 dead weight in the inventory. Does the egg have a hatch animation? It does not, no. I was going to do that in some cases, but, I think I was going to do that next, but I got to get it working first. How do you configure your debugger to open up the line that failed in VS Code? Mine doesn't. I don't think it does anyway. I don't know. As far as I remember, that just worked out of the box for me. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Yes, I think it is a good idea, especially if you're new to pixel art, because it makes you... It narrows the universe of all possible outcomes, right? Instead of having millions of colors, you have like 8. And so it definitely helps you focus in on like what's most important about the art. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. Restrictions certainly help being creative. Yes, absolutely. Define Dottie, welcome back. Is there a way possible to make the inbuilt editor text bold? I don't know. That's a good question, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm very hungry, so I'm going to go ahead and eat lunch. I may stream later, but I'm not sure. But otherwise, I'll be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Again, if you guys are interested, check out my new co-op multiplayer game in Godot course. I think you'll really enjoy it. It teaches you all the essentials of making online multiplayer games in Godot. So yeah, give that a look. It's linked in the description below. And let's see. But could you show your game state manager? I'm trying to figure out how to make one so I can use it across many projects. I don't think you're going to be able to use a game state manager across multiple projects. I don't think so. I could show you mine, but I think generally speaking, I don't think you're going to make that work because every game is going to have different requirements. Basically nothing in this game that I'm writing is portable to another game. I don't think it's useful or helpful to design your systems with the idea that you're going to port it to another game. But that could just be me. But yeah, basically my run manager is just a giant state machine. And yeah, just because these states are very specific to this game, I have a generic state machine implementation, which can be used across multiple games and has been used across multiple games. But the actual game state manager itself is very, very, very tailored to this game. So it's not reusable. Trail UV is perfect now. Awesome. That's great to hear. Congrats, Chris. Fire's addicted to streaming, I think. Maybe. Do you still get notified for your vampire course? Yes, I do. Yeah, I occasionally will go in and answer questions for those older courses as well. All right, well, that's it for the stream, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Again, thank you all for watching, and please check out my courses, which are linked below. I hope you have a good day, rest of your day, or rest of your evening, whatever, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye.